After one big pause, we are continuing with the series on logical chess, game 23, and you can see the names of the player. And let's see this really instructive game. So standard moves, putting the pawn in the center, but this is a little bit passive. Better was to go for c4 and challenge the center, but okay, c5. In this kind of, when you play d5, you want to play c5 to fight for the center. In many times when you can't play c5, then that can be a problem. He protects and e6. So e6 was necessary because he was threatening to play here and then he would protect the pawn like that. So we play e6 to protect the pawn. Bishop d3, putting a bishop on a nice diagonal, developing, and now f4. So this system is called stone wall, and it's kind of controversial. Some people say that it's not really good. Some people say that it's maybe not so bad, but you can look up theory for this system. It's interesting. It has some really nice ideas, and probably in lower levels it can be an interesting weapon for you. So developing a knight, he develops a knight, and you see that maybe from this picture of the position, maybe you see that this system is not so good because it's kind of, pieces are a little bit cramped. This bishop is kind of doesn't have a lot of squares. The plan is to go with the bishop like this, but maybe that's a little bit slow. Queen c7, putting a queen on the file that probably is going to be open, and also threatening something here. Knight f3, and with queen c7 we had positional threat, but white did not see it, and this was the threat to take here, and now he cannot take and keep his pawns in this line because we're gonna take this, and if he takes with the knight, then probably it's not really he's not gonna have really good nice pawns here, so he has to take like this, and now these pawns kind of look silly. Knight b4. We know that we should not start some kind of an attack before we develop all pieces and castle, but in this case it is good because we are attacking the strong bishop, and after he moves, bishop d7, developing and preparing also something interesting. a3, and now rook c8. So we're getting really active. Of course, if he takes, we're gonna take here, and we're gonna penetrate with our pieces into his position, and we're gonna also take here, and then we're gonna have a lot of pressure. So he doesn't take it, and now bishop b5. You see that this bishop, with this modest move, it seems like he's not gonna have a lot of squares to work with, but now he's really active here. Here was that. If he took here, we take, he takes, and we then can take this. So he has to move his rook. Now we attack both rooks, but yes, we see that he's gonna take, but that's what we want. We want more pieces on this second rank. and we achieved that. We achieved a really good thing to put a rook on the second rank, and this rook is restricting a lot white pieces. This piece is undeveloped, and even if he wants to develop this piece, it's not that easy, because if he has to guard this pawn, maybe he has to do something like this, and so on. Okay, h3. I guess he doesn't want to allow this kind of thing. Bishop d6 developing, and now knight goes to b1. He's trying to a little bit untangle in himself, maybe put the knight here and try to develop a little bit. But we don't allow that. Knight e4 in the center, in the throat of the white's position, not allowing this. It's really important to not allow your opponent to get back into the game. And he tries to get back into the game like this, exchanging a little bit of pieces. And now bishop d3, really nice move, protecting the knight. And also after he takes, we're gonna have this threat, so he cannot continue with developing like this. He has to do this to protect against this threat. Rook takes g2. Now finally king goes towards the center, because castling would not be that good, because there are no queens on the board, so the king is not the king is safe. So we do this and preparing this. Takes, we don't care about that, because time is really important now. We want to activate our pieces as fast as possible, and in the meantime his pieces are really on the first rank and not doing anything. Rook b1, trying to push here, and finally maybe activate this bishop. And now both rooks are on the c file, putting a lot of pressure on the white's position. b4, and now also really nice move, because he wants to do this, and after this move, if he plays that, trying to get his king closer, and you will see what happens if he plays this. We are activating our king in the endgame. Use your king, go further as much up as you can into the opponent's position, as long as your king is safe, of course. And this was the point of this move. So we can go here, and now he cannot go here because we're gonna take, and if he goes here, we're gonna take here. So still his pieces are cramped. Okay, and we are happy to exchange and to go into the winning endgame, where our pieces are really active. Now forward with the king, and we put the king on the most active position before advancing these pawns. His king has to stay to protect this pawn, and now pushing the pawns. If he takes, we're gonna take here, and then he's gonna lose this bishop, because he cannot move this bishop, because it's pinned to the rook. Moves the king, doesn't have anything to do. We take, win more material. He just goes back and forth, and also really nice move. We are intending this move going into the endgame where we have superior chances of winning. Takes, going after this move. He tries to stop it, but you know, in the endgame when you have a passed pawn, this is easily winning. You just push this pawn. If he blocks it, you go here. He's gonna take this pawn, but you're gonna take this. You're gonna take everything, and then this pawn probably is gonna become a queen. So as always, guys, I hope you enjoyed it and learned something, and see you in the next video.